Okay, this is the next section for the Module 1 lecture. In this section, we're going to talk about the definitions associated with the data set. The first one is, you will hear me often talk about the word element. When I say element, I'm referring to a member of a population or of a sample. So if I have a sample of 10 animals that I want to do some sort of test on them, so each animal is considered an element, in this case, of a sample. The characteristic that we measure on these individuals that we took from the population or from a sample, and we measure something on them, that characteristic that we measure, we call it the variable. That variable, when we measure, for example, the first element in the sample, let's say we measure their weight. So in this case, the variable is called weight, and that means we're going to ask a person to step on a scale under certain conditions, and we assess the weight of the first individual. Then we go and measure the weight of the second individual and the weight of the third, and so forth, and we have until we have the weights of all the elements in the sample or in the population. That characteristic that we measure is called the variable. Now, the quantity we obtain when we assess the characteristic of interest, we call it the observation or the measurement. So each of the weights that we took from each individual, that weight is called an observation or a measurement. So that's the value of the variable for a particular element. Now, the collection of the variables and the measurements and the elements, when we put them together into a data set, then the data set will look something like this. So at the top row, we have the variable names. So for example, here's the variable time, where we call it date, and it represents a particular date. And this is the variable infected, the variable deceased, the variable recovered, the variable hospitalized, the variable ICU, and then vet. This is people with COVID-19 on a ventilator. These are people with COVID-19 that were admitted to the intensive care unit. And then each of the rows represents an element of the data set, which in this case is an aggregate of elements of the population. So calling this an element is a bit confusing. So we call each row of the data set a case. So a case on the data set is a row that shows us the observations for each of the variables. For example, in this with the arrows pointing to, so we have an observation of 3 individuals died on the 31st. I'm sorry, on the 28th of 2020, of March 28th of this year, 3 people died. So this is an observation for deceased for this particular date. This 44, for example, is a particular observation of the number of people that recovered on this particular date. So you will see, as we continue with the course, we will be looking at data sets. And I expect you to know that when I say the variable such and such, then you look at the top row and say, oh, here's the variable name that the professor is talking about, or the problem is asking me to do something on that variable. And then we may say, well, what is the observation for the third case for this variable? Then you will come here, look at that number, so that is the observation. So the rows, we call them cases, and they contain the sequence of observations for each of the variables for that particular case, which could be, like in this case, a daily aggregate of elements of the population. It could be a single element, and it depends on how the data is collected. But these are the definitions that we will be using whenever we talk about data sets. And from now on, every time we talk about data, we will present it in a data set like this, and we will talk about variables, cases, and observations. All right, that's it for those basic definitions. There are more, but as we progress, we will introduce those other definitions. All right, the next very important topic in this module 1 is the variable type. So variables are classified as follows. And remember, a variable is just a characteristic that we're evaluating on members of the sample or the population. So the variables are classified either as qualitative or quantitative variables. Sometimes these qualitative variables are also called categorical variables, while these quantitative variables sometimes are called numeric variables. The categorical variables or qualitative variables have the characteristics that they contain labels assigned to each of those categories. For example, if we look at the variable race, then we see that the variable race is composed of several categories: Native American, African American, Asian, Pacific Islander, white, for example. Now, when we're dealing with quantitative variables, and we call them quantitative because they represent a quantification of the variable. Typically, those produce a number. That's why sometimes called numeric variable. And these quantitative variables are divided into either discrete variables or continuous variables. Discrete variables is when you are the results that result from counting the occurrence of an event. For example, the number of deaths from COVID-19. Well, we're counting how many have died. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So there is not 1.5 individuals or 1.75 individuals. It's integers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are discrete quantities, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. Continuous variables result from a measurement process, like measuring the weight using a scale, or measuring the blood oxygen level by analyzing the amount of oxygen in the blood. And this is what we call a continuous quantitative variable, because we're using an instrument or something to quantify it, to measure it. And not only that, you will find values everywhere. So, for example, weight. Well, a person could weigh 35.78 pounds or 35.87531, whatever number of decimal places you can get from the measurement instrument. So there's a continuity of numbers in the whole for those measures, and that's where the name continuous comes from. So here's an example to see if we understood these definitions. All right, so remember, we have two types of variables, quantitative and qualitative. If you've determined that the variable is quantitative, you have to determine next whether it's discrete or continuous. And if you say, well, how do I know it's discrete? Well, is the variable counting occurrences of something? Or are we measuring? There is a process to measure, to quantify this variable, then that will be a continuous variable. Let's look at this example. For example, number of children in a household. Well, is it a qualitative variable or a quantitative variable? Well, you're counting the number of children, right? And because you're counting, you can have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 children in a house. So it's quantitative, and because you're counting, it's discrete. Telephone numbers. The numbers this is the number that you have on your telephone. Well, each number identifies each telephone. So these numbers are really labels, ones that identify each telephone number. So this is really a qualitative variable. Even though they're numbers, it's a qualitative variable because it's just a label. It just assigns a label to your phone. So when someone dials that label and your phone rings. So that's why this is a qualitative variable. Days of the week. Well, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so forth. And those are just labels for the day. So they're names for the day, it's labels. So this is another example of a qualitative variable. Monthly revenue. So this is how much money a business gain after a month of operation. So that's money. So you're quantifying, and you're not counting $1, $2, $3. You're counting dollars and cents, and maybe thousands of a dollar. So in that case, revenue, money, the value of something, which is measured in dollars, it could take on any value. So this is a quantitative variable that is continuous. So this is measuring the value of something, which is in this country is measured in dollars, and fractions of a dollar. All right, temperature in the room. Well, for this you need a thermometer to measure the temperature, and it will give you some number, and depending on the decimal places and the thermometer can read, well, you may have multiple decimal places. So again, this is a quantitative variable, numeric variable, and it's not discrete because you're measuring it using a thermometer. It can give you any possible value. So we said that we have a continuous. This is a quantitative continuous variable. The names of the patients in the hospital. Again, these are labels. The names of the individual labels to identify them. So this will be a qualitative variable. And the categories will be the names of the patients. If the value of a stock in the NASDAQ index, well, again, value, at least in this country, is measured in dollars and or fractions of a dollar. Sometimes you see listed the prices of stock as 0.013 dollars. So again, this is measured in value, and this is a quantitative continuous variable. The concentration of lead in drinking water. So in here you have to weigh how much lead is in the water. So you evaporate the water, or maybe you add a chemical that reacts with the lead and that precipitates, and then you measure the solid that precipitated, and that's an indication of how much lead there is in the water. And that usually is measured in milligrams per liter, for example. Could be other units. But we're measuring some the amount of lead in the water. So again, this is a quantitative continuous variable. The level of pain, and you may perhaps seen the physician, and they ask you, and you say, well, something is hurting. And then they say, well, what level of pain do you have in a scale of 1 to 10? Well, you say 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and you may say 4.5. But again, the fact that you can go to a decimal place, this does not make this a quantitative variable, nor discrete, nor continuous, because this is a qualitative assessment of pain. So perhaps you and I have the same injury, and perhaps we are experiencing the same pain, but maybe you have more tolerance to pain than I do, and I may classify my pain as a 5, and you may say, oh no, it's just a 2. Or if I say, well, my pain is 4, well, does that mean because you say 2 and I say 4, does that mean that I'm experiencing twice as much pain as you? I don't know. This is a qualitative scale, so it cannot be treated as a quantitative scale, either discrete or continuous. So this is a qualitative variable because we're assigning labels to or categories to the pain that we feel, and it's assigned in a qualitative manner. Again, you may read papers in the future and you will see that this thing, people say that it's quantitative, but it's not. Okay, I hope this helps you to learn how to identify the type of variable that you're working with. And this will be a very important distinction that we will do in the future. All right, so for your Module 1 assignment, again, go to Wiley Plus and go to look for the Chapter 1 or Module 1 assignments. All right, at this point, after you do your assignments and you review the slides, you should be able to explain what statistics is, explain what descriptive statistics and inferential statistics are, identify the targeted population, and explain why sampling is necessary, explain how a representative sample is obtained, identify the components of a data set, and identify the type of variable. Okay, we're done with Module 1. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.